the end. So thank you so much for being here. This is Get Your Shit Together. I hope I didn't scare anybody off with that title. I probably say it to myself on a weekly basis, get your shit together, Kelly. But really this webinar is gonna be about professional expectations, a lot about communication and setting up expectations for your soon-to-be customers or other communication streams that you use. So we'll talk through email, texting, all these different things. We just want you to look professional as a business. So first of all, a little bit about me, why I think I have my shit together. Just kidding. Okay, so I've been with Halstead for 6 years now. I can't believe it's been that long. Before I came on the team here, I was actually a customer. So me and my husband made jewelry, and we also owned a little gallery in Phoenix, Arizona, where we had other local artists and we had all different mediums. It was super fun. We really enjoyed that time in our life. Before that, I'd been in retail management for over 10 years. And when you're running other people's businesses, you learn a lot of business skills. So that's where a lot of my business background comes from. But I do have a BA in art from Arizona State University, where I did take jewelry classes there. But my first intro to jewelry was actually in high school. I was super lucky that the high school I went to did have jewelry making classes. So when I say we want you to be professional, I don't want everybody to think you have to have a professional, clean-cut look, carry a briefcase, and be this kind of stuffy person. I don't want us to think of professional in that way at all. I really like this meaning of conducting yourself with responsibility, integrity, accountability, and excellence. Overall, I think communicating effectively and appropriately can really make your business look professional. You want people to trust you when they're giving you money or signing a contract with you. So your digital persona, what you have out there on the internet, as far as your social pages, your website, all of these things kind of give off a vibe of your business, and you want to come off in a professional way. So it seems like there's so many different forms of communication now. Obviously, email is probably the main one you use for your business, but people now will text. Obviously, phone and voicemail have been around for forever. And then, in the last 5 years or so, DMs on social media have become a new way where customers contact businesses. For a one-person run small business, managing all these different forms of communication can be overwhelming, and I get that. But if you are letting communication fall through the cracks, that's where it can start to make your business look bad. And you don't want to leave people with a negative thought about you or your brand. So we're going to kind of walk through all the different types of communications, what we think like the expectations are and the response times on these, and then just some tips and tricks to put in place to make this easier on you, and hopefully actually cut down on the communication. If we put a lot of expectations and information out there ahead of time, you won't be hit with so many emails and different things. So first, we're going to talk about email etiquette. Again, if you have a business, most likely you have a business email. Email is the easiest thing, I think, to separate from personal and business. It's easy to create a business email. I know through phone, you might not want to have a second line for your business, but email is probably the #1 communication for businesses. I think personalizing your emails, this is my biggest tip when you're writing to someone, putting their name in the subject line. This is a tip if you are actually writing the email or you are using a email service like MailChimp or Klaviyo, all of those different things. Just by acknowledging that you know who you're emailing, I think can help you out a lot. Using complete sentences, not using acronyms or too many emojis. If you do a little heart or a smiley face, I think that's fine and cute too. But this is a more of a professional communication avenue. So I think writing out in proper grammar is going to help you there. Just look a little more polished. I definitely also suggest having an auto signature. And you don't have to have, these are just some examples of, people I've worked with over the years and people that I love, their email signatures. And it can be different. You can make a few different auto signatures. A lot of times if someone reaches out to you and you're emailing back, the signature isn't as important. But if you're reaching out to a gallery, asking if they're accepting new artists, or if you're applying for a show or things like this might be the first impression they get of you and your business. So I think having a cute little picture of your logo, of yourself, having links to your website, showing people where you want them to find you on the internet is going to help. Otherwise, they're just going to Google search you. But with your email signature, you can kind of direct them where you want them to go. So email response times, 1 to 5 business days, I think is what most people expect. They don't expect an instant response. And I know for, again, a lot of you, it's just you are the business. So answering emails in 1 day, like just, it's not going to happen. And we get that, and I get that, but not every customer you interact with is going to understand that you're a one-person show. So I would say the normal response time, 1 to 5 business days. If you do not think you can get to emails in 5 business days, I would definitely have an auto reply letting people know how long it will be before you can get back to them. Another way to cut down on communications or people sending extra emails or asking you if you've got their email is to set expectations on your website, on your contact page, wherever you list your email or your phone number, whatever, saying it takes me 5 business days to respond, or I respond to all my emails on Fridays. So if someone emails you on Monday, they aren't looking for a response by Wednesday. They know that you will respond on Friday. I put this example up. Dime Beauty Company is just a company that I buy skincare products from, but they have really cute personalized auto messages that go out. And this was around before Christmas time. I think they were just like really backed up. But this was an auto responder I got, and I thought, oh my goodness, 2 weeks, that is a very long time to not respond. But I really appreciated the email, and what I was emailing about wasn't urgent. So I didn't use their other forms of communication that they put in here, and they got back to me in 1 week. So I also think overshooting how long it's going to take to get back is better than undershooting it. Because if you say you're going to get back in 1 to 2 business days, and now we're hitting day 3, you're going to get another, a lot of people will email you again. So now you have another email that you have to respond to. So setting the expectations up front of how long it will take you to respond is definitely going to help you there. So texting, a lot of businesses like to do this. A lot of people don't like to do this. And most of the time, if you are a small business, your personal cell number is also your business number. So I like texting. It's really good for quick questions, quick communications, super like confirming an appointment. If you have a custom appointment the next day at 10, just, hey, Kelly, just want to confirm our appointment at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I think things like that are good through texting. What I want to warn about texting, especially if you are, you're not using a texting app or anything, if you are using your personal cell phone also as your business phone, texts can fall through the cracks. I think it's really easy to look at a text, not respond, and then you get 10 more texts and it's pushed down. So I think falling through the cracks and ghosting people, even if you did it on purpose or not on purpose, can happen more through texting. So just be really aware of that. If you do not want people having your phone number, that is an option. And you can also say that you don't accept text, that you only want phone calls, or vice versa. I don't want phone calls, I only want texts. The more forms of communication you have listed on your site where people can reach you can be great, because maybe people feel more comfortable in different areas, but it can also be harder to manage. So really think about, on your contact page, on your website, what you put in your email signature, really only list the communication channels that you can handle and respond in a timely manner. A few more things for texting. Definitely identify yourself. The first time you text a client or a gallery owner or some other business contact, definitely say, hi, I am Kelly with Halstead before you start your sentences. You just don't want to out of nowhere text someone, they won't know who you are. And I think just very long responses are better to be put in an email, or long questions or multiple questions. It can get confusing and lost in text. So phone and voicemail, I feel like more and more people shy away, like they don't want to take live calls. You know, a lot of time I see memes and stuff, you know, and I do it too. You know, you watch your phone ring and you're like watching it ring and waiting until it stops and then wait for the text. I do with my sisters all the time. But when you are a business and your phone number is a form of communication, you want to answer it if you can. If you can't answer it, definitely make sure you have your voicemail set up and it is a branded voicemail, something along the lines, your name, this is Kelly with Halstead, please text me for an immediate response, or say, I will get back to you in 1 to 5 business days, please let me know your reason for your call and your name. I would make sure your voicemail is set up. It's frustrating if you call a business and it just has the random number, generic voicemails that come with cell phones now, or if it says your voicemail box is full. So whatever you want your voicemail to say, that is fine, but definitely identify your brand and then how long it'll take to get back to them, or a different way to communicate with you if you really do not want to take phone calls. Phone calls are more personal. They will help build relationships. I definitely think if wholesale is part of your business plan and you have relationships with shops or galleries, you're going to want to get on the phone with those people. It really will set you apart. It makes those connections better. It can build relationships. So don't be scared. If you feel like you have the bandwidth to have phone and voicemail as one of your communication channels, I suggest you do it. I definitely think you should. So this is kind of a new thing that came into play, you know, recently, is people DM businesses, and DMs, people want a response quickly. They can see when the little green dot is on Instagram and they want a response from you. So I pulled, you know, some screenshots of Emma and Kristen's Instagram pages, and a lot of the people I pulled through here are people I've worked with in the past, or are grant winners or grant finalists. So I love Emma and Kristen. So Emma on her page kind of tells you where she wants you to connect with her. She wants you to text her. So it says text this number with inquiries. On Kristen's, hers says questions, and then gets her email. Hopefully by having these on the main part of their profile page, it'll kind of deter people from sending them messages in the DMs. It's not going to fully deter them, but it'll help. So I would say have your preferred contact in your main profile. On top of that, you can now do auto messages. It's done through the Meta Business Suite. So however, kind of the main controls for your Facebook and Instagram, you can kind of Google how to do this. A lot of people are setting up an autoresponder now, which says, please text me with inquiries, please email me here. We don't respond to DMs. DMs can be a lot and they can be overwhelming. So if you do not want to use this form of communication, make sure it's out there and people understand that you are not going to respond to them on there, and give them a different way to contact you. If they just DM you and no one ever gets back to them, it can leave a negative taste in their mouth, that they think you ghosted them, ignored them, whatever their perception of it. Most likely you have a lot going on and it just wasn't something you were able to get to, nothing against them. But if you don't have a way of letting them know that, it can leave a negative taste in their mouth. So again, these are kind of just, I would say, like standards of what expected response times are for these different channels of communication. Email, 1 to 5 business days. Text, 1 business day. I would think text is quicker. 1 to 2 business days, I'd probably say there. Same with phone and voicemail. DMing, people want a quick response, and if they see you read it, then they want a response. So these are kind of just general guidelines. Whether you can follow these or not, I still think you should put what your expectations of how long it'll take to get back to you on your website if you can. This is Lisa Lehman's contact page, and Lisa's great. She is fine with you contacting her in multiple different ways. I do like that she says, please check out our facts and policies page first. Because a lot of times when people are contacting you, or you are contacting other people, whether you're applying for a show or to get into a gallery or a grant or whatever you're applying for, a lot of the questions can be answered on the website. So I think checking those things first, and even just putting a little reminder, please check here first before you contact me, can be helpful. This is Nikki Granditz with NG Studios contact page. Here, I like that she says 1 to 2 business days is how long it will take her to get back to you. So I like that it's there. She also has this form to fill out. So that helps. She also redirects you that if you are coming for a custom design, go here, and then has a form for you to fill out. So really what you put on your contact page will direct people, and it can minimize the amount of communication you have to weed through if you set up all of these expectations and kind of give them as much information up front as you can. You won't be getting as many emails or texts or whatever your form of communication is asking these little things from you. Communication is part of running a business. I think everybody would love to be at their bench making all the time. Most people got into this because they are creative and love that. But you have to make this part of your weekly routine. I've done other webinars just on strategic planning for your marketing. You have to make time for these things. And I think it's totally fine if every Wednesday and Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. you answer all of your emails and texts and all of that. That is great. Block out time and put the expectation on your website. I do think small businesses can get overwhelmed if you are in and out of your email all the time. Oh, I got an email. Oh, I got an order. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got a DM. If you block out time and do it in batches, it'll help you a lot instead of redirecting your focus all the time. So e-commerce website best practices. These are kind of things I want to go through that will also limit the amount of communication you get. We're going to walk through like things you can put out there that'll make it easier for people who don't understand jewelry or how jewelry is made or how long it takes with asking you questions. So one of the big things that I see not mapped out clearly on websites is stocked versus made to order items. If the person has never made jewelry before and they're coming to your site, they might have no idea what made to order means, or no idea the time frame of how long it takes. They might understand that it still needs to be made, but they might think you're making it when they submit the order and it's going to ship the next day. So I think this is pulled from Christina Grace's website, Tin House. She has it in bold, handcrafted to order with a 2-week production time before shipment. In-stock items ship within 2 to 3 days. This little thing is on her product listing pages. It's also like in a facts section of her website. So you want to clearly communicate these lead times and how long it's going to be before an item ships. If you don't clearly outline it, most likely you're going to get an email saying, hey, I ordered this ring 2 days ago and it hasn't shipped. And you'll be like, yeah, duh, it's going to take me a few weeks to get it done. But if you didn't put it out there big on your website, they have no idea. And it can minimize the amount of emails you're getting, the amount of contact you're getting by just putting all of this out there ahead of time. So out of stock or unavailable items. A lot of people do Instagram drops now and collection drops. And I think that's super cool. I'm like, this collection is going to drop at this time and be on my website. And I love that. And it's like first come, first serve, one of a kind pieces. But when they all sell out, it can be very frustrating to go to a website and there's nothing for sale. Everything's sold out. So I think having a few made to order items that are always there, or, just don't make it look like everything on your website is sold out, hide some of the listings, or if they're going to come back in stock or you have more items dropping soon, give them ETA on when things will be there so they know when to come back. It's happened to me a lot of times where I'm like, oh, so cool, I want to check out, this jewelry, gone to their website and there's literally nothing to buy, and then I forget about it. But if there was something there, maybe I would have bought it, maybe I would have put in an order, to get in, or clicked on something to get an email when stuff comes back in stock. You just don't want to make people frustrated for no reason. And obviously, if you are in business, you want people to buy from you. So letting them know how and not leaving them frustrated. So custom work is something where it can get really tricky and it can feel like a ton of back and forth if you don't have a process in place. So not every jeweler needs to offer custom work. So first you need to think, do I want to do this? Do I want to offer custom work? If the answer is no, I would put it on your facts page or somewhere on your site, like, I'm sorry, I do not do custom. If the answer is yes, then you need to set up a process. Think about your time designing, how you want the back and forth to go. Should they fill out a form? All of these different things, expectations on timeline, quotes, deposits, contracts. This is a lot to think about, and you don't want to be thinking about it during your first custom order. You want to have all of these processes set in place prior. Kristen Baird wrote a really good blog for us about starting to offer custom jewelry, and she kind of walks you through everything. The intake form is essential. It can really just streamline everything for you. Also, I really like the part where she says saying no. If you know that it is going to be a bigger headache than it needs to be, or they're asking for something that's like so not in your style or whatever, she does have a good section about saying no to certain things, or how to persuade them into something that would work. So I definitely think check this out. Ashley, if you could put this link in the chat so everybody can look through it. It's really great. If you already have custom jewelry offerings, there might be some tips in there you like. If you are starting out and you don't have a system in place, read this blog and you can literally pull from it, help you out a lot. So another place where I've seen a lack of professionalism, or just people, I don't know, not putting up their best foot forward for their business, is trade shows or craft shows. If you sign up for a craft show or trade show, any show, and you build out this beautiful display and you take the time to get there and you pay the entry fee and everything, and then you sit behind your booth on your cell phone looking down the whole time, it's not worth it. You have to be there and be engaged. So many times I've walked by booths and people are just looking down at their phone. You want to be there to talk to people, you want to smile, have as much inviting body language as possible. If it's a 4 or 5 day show, obviously you can't stand the whole time, but even if you are sitting, just being attentive, looking out, smiling, trying to engage with people, on top of you want people to buy your jewelry, you also don't know who's walking the show and what other opportunities you can get. There might be a gallery owner who's looking for new stuff. They walk by, they think your jewelry is like perfect for their gallery, but they're trying to make eye contact with you and you're looking down at your phone. You don't want to miss opportunities like this. And again, if you're at a show, it means you took a lot of time and effort to get there. So make it worthwhile when you're there. Also, jewelry artists, in-person feedback is priceless. So when someone is at your booth trying on jewelry, whether they say it or not, there's so many things you can learn. It's easy to see if someone's having a hard time clasping your necklace. It's easy to see if someone is having a hard time with the earrings, or they're too heavy or too big. You get a lot of feedback, whether it's verbal or not, at these shows. So to make the best of them, be attentive, be ready for everything, be ready to answer questions. Just make the most out of it. There is a webinar later today with Amy Lauenberg and Robin Kramer, and they're going to talk about getting the best show experience. But these are just some of my tips, but they'll dig in some more later today. So on top of putting your best foot forward with your business with potential customers or customers you already have, building your industry relationships is another place where you want your business to stand out. So there's all different opportunities within the jewelry field. There's call for entries for exhibitions, there's grant applications, there's commissions, there's trade shows, craft shows, professional writing or speaking opportunities. Everybody that you're seeing here for the Jewelry Business Forum, I've had to communicate with back and forth, and they are here with you this week because they are professional and have got back to me and understand the process. So more than just what you put out there on your website, when you are emailing back with these type of industry affiliates, you want to be putting your best foot forward, making sure it seems like you have your shit together. If someone's reaching out to you to do a commission piece for them or to speak at an event, you want to make sure you're responding in a timely manner and in a professional way. If you don't respond back, or it's a messy email or doesn't make sense, they might not trust you to do what they originally thought they were going to have you do. So read, read, and read it again. We all are super inundated with so much information right now. And I skim read too. When I'm on social and I'm like going through the Instagram feed, I'm not like fully reading each caption on every post. But when you are going to sign a contract, when you're applying for a trade show, when you're applying for a grant, when you are setting up an appointment with someone, all of these different things, you have to sit there and read and like focus. Make sure that you're understanding everything that you're reading. Don't skim read. Halstead has a grant. I also have friends who run local craft shows. Sylvie also curates an exhibition at New York City Jewelry Week. So we all get these submissions in, and a lot of the time it's submitted incorrectly. It's not fully completed. Or sometimes they're not even actually eligible and they took all of this time to do something. So make sure you read. The importance of this is it's just very important to focus. Also, another thing that I see happen a lot and in the industry happens a lot is people will get asked a question that's already answered on a website, in an app. If they sent you a consignment agreement, if it already says the date everything is due to them, and then you ask the gallery owner about it, it just doesn't make them seem, you don't seem as trustworthy. So my new saying is click around and find out. If your question can be answered on the website, on the application, you don't want to ask it again. Also, if it can be answered with a quick Google search, do that. Use your resources. You want to look like you have as much information as possible and come off as professional as possible. So I think the key to success is to be memorable in a good way, easy to work with, quick to respond, reliable, follows directions. And this can go for industry contacts, industry relationships, or when working with customers. If you're easy to work with, whenever I need a gift for a family member and you're quick to respond, I get my jewelry and it's great and it's all quick and on time, then I'll probably continue to purchase from you. Like again, if you are hired for an industry event or something else in the field and you were easy to work with, showed up, did a great job, then you'll probably get asked back again. So I think being memorable in a good way is the key to your success. So recap of everything we kind of went over today: do's, communicate clearly, set expectations. I think the setting expectations on your website, on your contact page, or up in the profile of your social pages can really help minimize how many people are contacting you and how often. I think if you just can set aside a few hours if you don't have these set up right now in the next few weeks to just clearly communicate on all of your social pages and on your website, the expectations of how long it get back to people and what the best form of communication is. Hopefully it will cut down and make you feel less stressed out about getting so much communication. Also, set time aside for communication. I think leaving your email alone and then making sure that you check it at a certain time every day, as opposed to in and out all the time, is going to help you too. Don't ghost people, whether it's intentional or not intentional. It doesn't look good for your business. And I think, like I said, with texting, that is the easiest place to accidentally ghost someone because things can fall through the cracks there. And also don't miss deadlines. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity because you didn't hit a deadline. So this is the end of my presentation. I am the marketing and creative manager with Halstead. We sell jewelry supplies. If you haven't checked us out, please go to our website. Halsteadbead.com is the website. We started out in the 70s selling beads, and that's why bead is still in our name. But we are a full jewelry supply firm specializing in chain. So I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and hopefully you have some questions for me, and hopefully I didn't offend anybody and you liked the get your shit together. I hope you all get your shit together. Do wonderful. Oh, you have to unmute. I can't hear you, Ashley.
And there we go. I'm unmuted now.
Okay.
So someone did ask in there how to make an auto signature, and it definitely just kind of depends on which email.
It depends on which email you're using. If you're using Gmail, you can Google set my auto signature for Gmail. Every email platform, whether it's Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, or whatever, will have a way to set an auto signature.
Yeah. Someone was asking kind of how you prevent emails from being flagged as spam. So what kind of words do we want to avoid that tend to be red flags for the spam filters?
So there's a lot that can go into spam and your emails ending up in spam. If you are using your website URL as your email, that can be different than it just as a gmail.com email. Using things, I mean, Ashley knows this too, things that are super salesy in your subject line can hit you into spam. If you are reaching out to a legit customer or client, you can always ask, like, make sure you save this email, and so I'm not in your spam. So it just depends. A lot of times you can hit spam if you are using like MailChimp or one of these bigger providers to send your stuff, and you're sending really big bulk batches of emails. If you are just a small business sending one email from your Gmail account to somebody, that type of stuff usually is not going to fall into spam. Do you have anything else to add to that, Ashley? Because Ashley actually knows a lot more about it than me.
Yeah, it's definitely, so email spam filters, I actually was looking around, I found a list just a week or two ago that had some of the most popular words that do put you automatically in a spam filter. So that's definitely something you can Google and check out, because it's definitely things like last chance to get this free. You know, you definitely want to promote things, but you want to make sure you're not doing it in a way that is, I want to say spammy, but that's what we're trying to avoid, obviously. So you just have to make sure it comes off as a professional sounding salesy thing. But there's lists out there, and I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find the list I found last week. So, but it is out there.
No, some people are asking Gmail versus your website URL. I think using your website URL, a lot of it can be set up through Gmail. So you're actually using Gmail, but it's using your website. I think that's great. It identifies you more as a business. I don't think that necessarily would put you into spam. It's more big auto sends through, I would say, email platforms, and then using that spammy language in subject.
Yeah.
There's also things you can, if your email has too many clickable links or too many images in it, if you tried to send 100 images and 100 links in an email, that's going to seem spammy.
Definitely. That's definitely something to keep an eye out. Someone was asking if you're reaching out to wholesale accounts or new stores that you want to work with, do you find a personalized email asking to set up a time to meet in person to show them is still successful, or do you think just go with a phone call and ask to meet that person or on the phone right there?
I think if you can do a phone call right away, that's great. Usually your phone call can be your gateway to meeting someone in person. So if you could get somebody on the phone, you're more likely to get that in-person meeting than directly from an email.
Okay. There was a question too about, I'm sure a lot of people here it's a one-person business. Do you think it comes off better to say, I will get back to you, or we will get back to you, even if you're the only one?
I don't think it's better either way. I think saying I and letting people know that it's just you is great. I don't think you need to pretend you're bigger than you are. But I think a lot of times people do end up saying we. It's probably because even if you are a one-person owned business, you do 18 different jobs. So you feel like there's more than just you. It's you and all of yourself helping you. So I don't think one or the other is bad. I think a cute autoresponder I saw, and I don't remember what brand it was, but it was an autoresponder that said, hey, it's just me here. I'll get back to you in 5 to 7 business days. So it was cute. So I think something like that can help give your brand personality and also let people know how small you are.
Yeah, and there was a clarification for we're talking about auto signatures for emails and then the auto responders for other things. Can you kind of talk about that clarification?
Yeah, so a signature is just what's going to show at the bottom of your email. So when I open a new email and I type up, "Hey Ashley, how are you doing today?" My auto signature comes up on there. It says my name, my title, my company, my phone number. So a signature is just what shows at the bottom of your email. An autoresponder is an actual email that goes out. So if Ashley emailed me and I wasn't in the office, or it's going to take me weeks to get back, when she emails me, an auto email would send to her saying, "Hey, thanks for emailing me. I'm not going to get back to you until January 30th," or whatever I want the auto responder to say.
And Robin in here is she was pointing out that she with Gmail had to set a mobile signature and a desktop signature. So that's something to check on when you're doing your signatures, just in case you have to set a separate one for each.
I think it's good too with signatures. I have like a basic signature, and then I have a signature that has like all of my contact information. So depending on who you're talking to, you might want to have your phone number there, you might not. So those you can have on most I know Gmail and I know Outlook will let you have more than one signature too.
Hillary kind of brought up talking about how you dress at events as well. We talked about standing, and there were some ideas in there about using the high stools so that it kind of gives that appearance of standing without having to tire yourself out. But maybe talk about how to dress at those events as well.
I wouldn't say, I think go with your vibe, your brand, how you feel best is how you should represent yourself. You want, people to like you and your brand. You want to feel comfortable. I think wear your jewelry is my biggest thing of how you should dress in an event. But it depends. If you're outside in a winter event and it's freezing, you're probably going to have a big coat on. There are craft shows during Christmas time in cold places. If you're indoors, it's different. I think the high stool chairs is great. Having a smile on your face, open body language, and wearing your jewelry are probably my best suggestions on that.
And this is actually a good one. And we do have a blog on it, but talking about how to kind of separate out your personal information and your business accounts. I'll find Lisa's blog really quick and put that in the link because she gives some really good insight. So I think everyone here would kind of benefit from kind of understanding where that line is drawn.
Yeah, and it also is, Lisa's blog is great and definitely read through it. The line is different for everybody. Some people want their personal life completely separate from their business, and that's fine. And some people merge it together. I think whatever makes sense for you and your brand is great. I know some people don't want to give too much personal information out there. Obviously, if your studio is based out of your home, I would not have your address anywhere. You don't really want to give people your home address. But as far as like having two, social media pages, maybe you have a personal Instagram plus a business one. I think that's what most people do now, but some people are really good at blending the personal and business life and like it. But other people, I think, need a clear-cut definition of this is my work life, this is my home life. So whatever makes that balance easier for you.
Shauna did put in the chat a link to some of the most popular spam words, so everyone definitely check that out.
Awesome.
And
thank you, Shauna.
I wanted to make sure, I think we briefly touched on it with the Gmail and web page email. It's kind of whichever one works best for your business. The web page email, Gmail, using services like MailChimp, they all kind of work the same. It's just you want to avoid the spamminess of an email. Let's see here.
I think someone said, what's the best way to stay informed about grants or calls for jewelry designers? We have a great blog that's all the grant opportunities for jewelry business owners. If you could pull that up, Ashley, and put it in there. We try, if you follow us on social, we try to share any call for designers that comes along our feed, and we try to share. SNAG, Society of now I don't remember what SNAG is called. Society of North American Goldsmiths. They are always good about putting out calls. So there's a lot of different places. You kind of just have to stay up on it. But this link to the grant blog is a really good thing. There's quite a few different options in there depending on where you're at in your jewelry business.
I'm not sure. Do we have any more questions out there? If you're having issues with the links, try copying and pasting. They should hopefully be clickable, but if not, they're also on our blog website, which is just halsteadbead.com/articles. And you can find them in our business category there.
Yay. Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. Me and Ashley are doing a daily wrap up today. It is at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I will also be in the lobby chat, so if you think of anything else for me, I can answer questions there. I hope you are really enjoying the Jewelry Business Forum this year. We were really excited about this new platform, Zoom events, and I hope it's going well and you're connecting with people and having a good time. So stay tuned for our next demo. Is that right? Yep, Sylvie. Oh, Sylvie's live next. So you don't want to miss that. It's live from the Halstead studio is coming up next. And then we finish out the day talking about making the most out of trade shows with Amy and Robin. And then me and Ashley will be back for a fun wrap up, a giveaway, and we will be talking about permanent jewelry there. So see you guys then.